today I'll be talking about pleural diseases. So pathological involvement of pleura is mostly secondary. However, there are few primary causes also, and most common of them are bacterial infection and a neoplasm, which is mesothelioma. The most common manifestation of both primary as well as secondary disorders of the pleura is pleural effusion. So what is pleural effusion? It is collection of fluid in the pleural cavity. Normally there is certain amount of pleural fluid which lubricates the pleural, it is present in the pleural cavity which lubricates the lung, that is 15 ml of serous relatively acellular clear fluid is present in the pleural cavity which lubricates it. This is the picture showing the same. This is the normal lung over here and this is the collapsed lung. This is the pleura, the covering it. This is the collapsed lung and this is the effusion or the content which is present here below the lung, that is pleural effusion. This is the chest X-ray showing the same. This is a hyperinflation of the lung. This is hyperinflation of the lung and this is the collapsed lung and this is the effusion. The opaque part is the effusion. This is how the fluid is drained through the intercostal drainage. The amount of fluid which is present over here is drained after insertion of the needle here through the intercostal space. Coming to the types of pleural effusions, they can be inflammatory as well as non-inflammatory. Inflammatory in pathology, anything ending mostly with itis is inflammatory. So it can be three types: serofibrinous pleuritis, suppurative pleuritis and hemorrhagic pleuritis. In the serofibrinous one, the type of fluid is serofibrinous exudate. In suppurative one, the type of fluid is pus, and in the hemorrhagic, the type of fluid is bloody exudate. The common associations in serofibrinous and suppurative pleuritis are inflammation of the lung, adjacent lung, and in the serofibrinous one, collagen vascular diseases may also be present. In hemorrhagic pleuritis, the common association is mostly the tumor. Coming to the non-inflammatory causes, they can be hydrothorax, chylothorax and hemothorax. In hydrothorax, the type of fluid is transudate and the most common reason is congestive heart failure. In hemothorax, the content is blood and the most common cause is ruptured aortic aneurysm or it can be trauma. For chylothorax, the content is chyle or lymph and the most common association is tumor obstruction of normal lymphatics. Pneumothorax. What is pneumothorax? Pneumo stands for air. So it means air in the thorax. So it is air or any other gas in the pleural sac. It occurs in mostly young, apparently healthy men, mostly in men, and it can be without a primary reason in the lung or it may be with some primary disorder, previous disorder of the lung. If there is no previous anomaly or any abnormality or disease, it is simple or spontaneous pneumothorax. Otherwise, if there is some pre-existing abnormality or disorder, then it is secondary pneumothorax. Secondary pneumothorax. What happens here is if there is any lesion in the lung which is in close proximity to the pleura, so there are chances that if it ruptures, then the air may get into the pleural space. So it occurs with the rupture of any pulmonary lesion situated close to the pleural surface that allows the air into the pleural cavity. The most common causes are emphysema, lung abscess, tuberculosis and carcinoma. Now mechanical ventilatory support with high pressure, it can also trigger secondary pneumothorax, and this was a complication in some cases in these COVID times also when mechanical ventilatory support was given. So this was a condition which needed to be taken care of. Complications. The ball and valve leak creates tension pneumothorax and it shifts the mediastinum. It can cause compromise of the pulmonary circulation. Now this can be fatal for the patient, and if the leak seals and the lung is not re-expanded in time, either it re-expands spontaneously or it has to be re-expanded by medical or surgical intervention. If that is not done in time, then the scarring may be too much for it to re-expand and be treated. In these cases, what happens is the serous fluid accumulates in the pleural cavity and it creates hydropneumothorax. With prolonged collapse, the lung is more vulnerable to infections, and the condition is known as empyema, and that is an important complication of pneumothorax. Pyo means pus and pneumothorax is air in the thorax. Secondary pneumothorax, it tends to be recurrent if it tends to be recurrent, predisposing conditions if remain. Hemothorax, as the name suggests, it is collection of blood in the pleural space. Now this is different from a bloody exudate, and in the bloody exudate the blood doesn't clot, but in hemothorax the blood tends to clot in the pleural effusions. That is how you can differentiate it. Chylothorax, it is collection of the lymphatic fluid in the pleural cavity. Now this amount of fluid may be very less, but still it is very significant, because it gives us a clue that there may be some carcinoma or cancer present in the thoracic cavity, because it is somehow obstructing the lymphatic ducts, and the most common of them is lymphoma. Now pneumothorax is as important as any fluid accumulated in the pleural cavity, because it is causing similar side effects like compression, collapse, atelectasis and respiratory distress. Now spontaneous pneumothorax, the symptoms, the patient comes to us with dull, sharp or stabbing chest pain. The pain develops suddenly and becomes worse with deep breathing or coughing. Now this is something which has to be differential diagnosis, maybe sometimes myocardial infarction over here. Other symptoms the patient may complain of are shortness of breath, rapid breathing, abnormal breathing movements and cough. Tension pneumothorax. Now tension pneumothorax occurs following trauma. If there is any penetrating chest wound which allows the air from the outside to enter into the chest, then the lungs may collapse. Certain medical procedures performed in the chest cavity such as thoracocentesis may also cause lung to collapse. Now when in this case, when the defect, it acts as a flap valve, what happens is while inspiration the air is coming in, but somehow when the patient is when there is expiration, the blood is not moving, the air is not moving out, and because of that it is acting as a pump and the amount of air is continuously increasing, and that is known as tension pneumothorax. Now this is the diagram, this is the figure, this is the collapsed lung, this is the normal lung on this side, this is the collapsed lung, and this is the air which has accumulated after the collapse. Now this tube has been inserted over here so that the lung can be re-expanded, and this is the heart, these are both the lungs, and this is after the treatment, and the re-expanded lung is this one. This is the X-ray of the same. This is intensely dark, unlike this is the normal lung. This is a very dark lung because there is increased amount of air over here because of pneumothorax. Similar picture over here, and this is the intensely dark lung because of pneumothorax. This is the normal lung. Pleural tumors, they can be primary or they may be secondary. Most common are the secondary metastatic tumors, and the cause from them are the primary may be from the lung, maybe from the breast, or maybe from the ovaries. Serous or serosanguinous effusion occurs which contains the neoplastic cells. So in such cases the cytological examination of the sediment of the fluid is really important. Malignant mesothelioma is the primary tumor of the pleura, and it arises from the parietal or the visceral pleura. Increased incidence is found in people who are exposed to asbestos, who are working in asbestos workplaces or industries. Up to 90% of reported mesotheliomas are asbestos related, and it is a very slow growing tumor, and it has long latent period of 25 to 45 years. There is no increased risk of mesothelioma in asbestos workers who are smoking. Rather, in contrast to the risk of asbestos related lung carcinoma, which is already high, it is markedly increased by smoking. So thus for asbestos workers, the risk of dying of lung carcinoma exceeds more than developing mesothelioma. On morphology, it is a diffuse lesion. It spreads widely in the pleural space and is associated with extensive pleural effusion and invasion of thoracic structures. The affected lung is ensheathed by a thick layer of soft gelatinous greyish pink tumor tissue. Now this is the figure showing the tumor here. This is encasing the lung, this is the retractor, and this is the place where the hemorrhagic fluid or the effusion may be accumulated. So now this is again the gross picture. All these black areas, they are because of the asbestos exposure. So this is mesothelioma, this due to asbestos exposure. Microscopically, the mixture of two types of cells, either one can predominate. Mesothelial cells have the potential to develop either as epithelium-like lining cells or mesenchymal-like stromal cells. The epithelioid type of mesothelioma consists of cuboidal, columnar or flattened cells forming tubular or papillary structures, and they resemble adenocarcinoma. Thank you.